Well, hey everybody, after a big week in boys high school rugby, I just want to have a look at some of the, well, maybe a surprise. Not so much of a surprise, it's just a result or a team that kind of made me sit up and take notice. So let's have a look at those. First of all, I want to thank our sponsors, Irish Rugby Tours. Go on tour. Experience the global nature of rugby. IrishRugbyTours.com. Next Phase Rugby, if you want to go play rugby in college, you want to find a good college you want to go to, but also a meaningful rugby experience, nextphaserugby.com. Download that app, get connected, find, filter all your choices, and find something that's really good for you. Also, Panther Rugby Academy and the select side experiences, and also just basic skill development that Panther Rugby Academy does. Check them out. And finally, US Rugby Foundation, supporting grassroots rugby all over the country. So if you can support them, that's great too. usrugbyfoundation.org. Well, in Southern California, Loyola of LA is a fairly new program and a new coach with Marquise Grissom taking over this year. And guess what? They beat Los Alamitos. That's a big win for them. And they're part of this really close, tight-knit single school competition in SoCal. And coming back from 21-3 down, winning 24-21, really showed us something. I don't know how the playoffs are going to go after that, but we've got Orange Lutheran, also relatively new, Loyola USA, Los Al, and then at the top, Torrey Pines. That's a really close, tight-knit kind of group that's going to go into the playoffs. Very exciting and a fantastic result for Loyola of LA as they grow. Meanwhile, also sort of Southern California up to Northern California, Cathedral Catholic that plays in Scurf, which is the other single school competition. The top team there, and remember that they had a very close game with Torrey Pines. They go up and beat Jesuit of Sacramento 36-10. Now, a couple of yeah buts on that. Jesuit's first game. Meanwhile, Cathedral had played quite a few games. Okay. Jesuit was missing some starters. I think some academics, some school responsibilities, a couple of injuries, things like that. So yeah, Jesuit rusty and not at full strength necessarily. Regardless, Cathedral went up there, took the road trip up to Sacramento, hundreds of miles, won the game pretty convincingly. It's a really good showing for Cathedral. Southern California is doing very well. Their numbers are growing hugely. In fact, high school and youth numbers nationally are growing, which is good. SoCal doing very well. There are some developments within the single school sphere that could make that grow even more. All of that's great. But first and foremost, when there's a lot of talk about whether Scurf is strong or SoCal Single School League is stronger or something like that, this was a great showing from Cathedral. Staying up in Northern California, this one's actually from a loss. It would be St. Ignatius of San Francisco in their first season, in their first game against St. Francis, who was certainly a contender last year for the Northern California Single School Championship. They lost to St. Francis 25-18. 25-18, hey, look, you come in with a new team and you play a top team that's a bruising team and very well coached and has got talented players, and you lose by a try. Hey, that's a pretty good start, isn't it? Yes, Ignatius has some experienced players, but even if you had like 10 of your starters were experienced players, you're starting a whole new program with a whole new coach and a whole new set of plans, everything like that. It's really tough to do that, especially in Northern California. So that single school competition up in NorCal, which started this past weekend and will go through, and then they'll fold into the full Rugby NorCal season after that. Really nice. Jesuit, who also they played Cathedral, but they also played a league game, but that one ended up team not having enough numbers, so they played 10 aside. So Jesuit won that one. But De La Salle looking very, very strong. Bishop O'Dowd looking very strong. St. Francis, St. Ignatius, certainly a contender, certainly could come back. And last year, we were seeing teams beat each other all around, so we could see that again. Now out into the desert, Brophy Prep beat Tempe 33-31 over the weekend. Now I know Tempe already lost a game. They lost to Red Mountain, their longtime rival, and that's fine. Still, this is a Tempe team that's been to national championships and done very well at national championships the last couple of years. Um, they are powerful, physically powerful, bruising team, and they actually had a pretty good lead. And Brophy came back to win that game. Really good showing for Brophy Prep as they try to grow the single school team out of Phoenix, try to grow their program, and it's good for rugby in Arizona, which really has been sort of a two-horse race for a while. To get more horses into that race, get more clubs into that. I think Arizona next couple of years we might see a growth because they have been focusing on youth, and I think that's smart. Focus on youth; those kids will grow, and then high school will grow from there. But great showing for Brophy Prep. Meanwhile, in Texas, well, Lake Travis beat St. Pius X. Okay, or St. Pius X, whatever you want to call it. Maybe not a grand, super surprise upset, but the thing was, it was 61-7. And this is an indication to me that Lake Travis might be something special right now. For years, for a while, the single school teams coming out of Texas were in the Austin area, Lake Travis and Westlake. And then we saw them dip a little bit, and the rise of Straight Jesuit and St. Thomas out of Houston and Dallas Jesuit as well. So that you haven't really seen a lot from Lake Travis. I was always like, come on, are you going to come back? And they show a result, they show a couple of results, and then they sort of fade. Well, guess what? Looking pretty good, starting pretty well, and I think that's good for rugby in Texas. I think it's good for high school rugby in Texas. Austin has a pretty strong club system, two very strong men's clubs. They've got a strong college team in there. Are they building again that high school thing where they've got Round Rock and they've got the Huns under 19s now? I think Lake Travis getting better, getting stronger. A very well-known high school that produces like NFL players, stuff like that. I think it's good for the game in Austin. I think it's good for the game in Texas.